Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Jody Whipple, nutritionist for the FIT program. Today we're going to be talking about portion sizes, and we are going to be looking at commonly consumed foods and what an appropriate portion size looks like. Because portion distortion is such a problem. We get served huge portions, we're serving ourselves huge portions, and that certainly can lead to overweight and to being not as healthy as we would like to be. So let's start with a few of the things that I have right in front of me. They're all healthy foods, but even healthy foods consumed in large quantities can be too much. So let's start with some fruit. Picking up a piece of fruit to have for a snack is very easy to do. You want it to be about the size of a baseball. So if you're picking up a peach or an apple or an orange, this is about the size that you're looking for. If you put it on a scale in the grocery store, it's going to weigh about 4 ounces. Something like grapes, we're looking at about 15 grapes for a serving. When you're looking at berries or melons, you really get a lot of bang for your buck from berries and melons, about a cup serving. And this is a measuring cup, so if you filled this up with melon or you filled it up with berries, that would be a portion size. When you have something like a dried fruit, for example, a raisin, the water gets taken out of it, so the portion size is really quite a bit smaller, but they're chewy, they're delicious. You may have heard them called nature's candy. A portion size of raisins, which are terrific on cereal, in a trail mix, maybe mixed in with rice, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, is 2 tablespoons. So there's 2 tablespoons of raisins. That's what it looks like. When we're looking at something like juice, orange juice for example, which is loaded with vitamin C, it's terrific for your immune system. It's even sometimes seemingly more concentrated than a dried fruit. When we're looking at serving size, we're looking at 4 ounces. So we'll go ahead and pour this out so you can get an idea of what 4 ounces looks like. And one of the tricks to feeling satisfied on something that has a small portion size to begin with is serving it in a container that isn't enormous. So if you put it in a small juice glass like this, maybe add some ice to it, it's going to fill it up, it's going to be pleasurable to the eye, it's going to keep it nice and cold, and it's going to be delicious, and it's going to give you that vitamin C that you need. And if you get the kind with the pulp in it, it's going to add some extra fiber as well. Let's talk a little bit about dairy. Cottage cheese is a terrific source of protein. It's got lots of calcium, which is good for your bones, it's good for your teeth. This is about 4 servings actually of cottage cheese. A serving of cottage cheese that is equivalent to about 1 ounce of chicken, for example, would be about 1/4 of a cup. And so that would be probably about 1/4 or so of what's in this bowl right here. Great source of protein, great source of calcium. And then what better source of calcium can you get than from a glass of milk? Since I already used that measuring cup, I'm just going to use this glass. This is about a 10-ounce glass, so if we fill it up to about there, we're looking at 8 ounces. 8 ounces of a dairy product, whether it's yogurt or whether it's milk, would be considered a serving size. Again, terrific for your bones, teeth, great for helping prevent osteoporosis with some added protein in there as well. Now, we're going to start talking about some protein, and we're going to look at fish. Fish is a terrific source of protein. The fattier fishes like tuna, salmon, mackerel give you great sources of omega-3 fatty acids, but really any type of fish is terrific. People get a little bit scared about preparing fish, but I'm going to show you a way to prepare some fish that's easy, it's delicious. It only takes about 10 minutes or less under the broiler. This serving of fish is about 4 ounces, and 3 to 5 ounces of protein would be considered a serving size. It would fit on the palm of a woman's hand. That's a way that you can distinguish an appropriate serving size. Another appropriate serving size would be looking at a deck of cards or a computer mouse. We're all familiar with that. Using some olive oil, and a teaspoon of olive oil is a serving. I actually don't usually use measuring spoons, but I'm going to for the purposes today so that you get an idea of what a teaspoon looks like. And for this fish, it's actually probably a little bit too much. I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle it on the fish. Very, very easy. I'm going to take a lemon. Lemon is a terrific citrus. Gives a lot of flavor, packs a lot of punch. Just squeeze that right on there. And when you're serving this, it might be nice to cut up thin slices of lemon. It looks really pretty on the plate. We can go ahead and take a little bit of parsley here. Chop that up. And I'm just going to leave that right there for now while I put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper on my fish. Sprinkle the parsley for some color. And again, I mentioned slicing some lemon real nice and thin, because I think it's important for your food to look attractive. You want to be able to sit down and eat with your eyes, if you know what I mean. And I think that's whole lovely part of the eating process. So we can go ahead and put the lemon right there. That took less than, what, 2-3 minutes. You turn the broiler on, you stick it under the broiler for about 5 minutes. If it looks like it's getting too brown, you just take a little bit of aluminum foil, set it on top, cook it for a couple more minutes, take it out when it flakes with a fork. When it's opaque, then you know that it's done. Very easy family meal. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about portions from protein. So this chicken right here, this is actually a size that would be good for 2 people. This is about 6 ounces. If we cook it, put a little bit of olive oil, again, some salt and pepper, and then just cut it in half. That would fit nicely in the palm of my hand. You can see that that's an easy way to figure out a portion size. And then here's another easy meal option. We've got a lovely piece of tenderloin that we've just pan fried, again, with a little bit of flavorful oil. We've used some nice seasonings. You can use anything that sounds good to you. You can use some garlic powder. You can use paprika for color. That gives a nice little punch. Lemon, garlic, and just a nice tossed salad. We just chopped up a bunch of lettuce, tomatoes, there's peppers on here. We can put some olive oil on it and some nice balsamic vinaigrette or some raspberry vinegar. And then I wanted to especially talk about our grains, because so often we overdo the portions of grains. A serving of rice is about 1/3 of a cup. I'm not saying that you only should have 1/3 of a cup, but so often we come to the table and we make our plate mostly starch, mostly grain. And what we want to do is we want to be dividing the plate in quarters, and we want our protein and our grain to take up 2/4, and then the other half we want to be filled with fruits and vegetables. And you can see here that we have plenty of food. It's colorful, it's packed with nutrition, and it's delicious, and it's easy. You don't have to be a gourmet cook to eat healthy. In fact, when we're so busy these days, trying to add gourmet cook to our resume is pretty overwhelming, and that's certainly not something that we're trying to do. And then staying with the grain category, just pointing out that something like a tortilla is a terrific source of grain. It's a whole grain. You don't need to have the size of tortilla, though, that takes up the size of a dinner plate. If you get something that fits on the palm of a woman's hand with her fingers spread out like this, that's a serving of a tortilla. Easy to put meat or cheese, nice sauteed vegetables on here, and it's going to give you the flavor and the satisfaction that you're looking for, as well as the nutrients and the fiber that are great for our health. Again, I'm Jody Whipple with the FIT program. Thanks for joining us to learn more about portion sizes.